Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Federico Talks Watches. Today's a shorter little one because I just got a very large package of some GP watches over there in the office. It still needs to be processed, but I have to do a video. I can't leave you guys hanging. And I'm answering some of your questions, such as, is Rolex going to update the GMT Master, and what is a brand I would never wear, but I respect? All that and more in today's episode. Now, of course, before we get started, customary wristwatch check. Today, I'm wearing my Girard Perregaux Laureato Evo 3 Big Date Moonface Power Reserve, an absolute classic. Guys, if you do like this watch, I do have a black and white dial coming in, so keep your eyes peeled. And also, guys, don't forget to check out delraywatch.com. We got a bunch of cool watches in stock, including a totally unworn new old stock JLC Master Geographic Sector Dial. From that limited run of Sector Dials JLC made a few years ago, this one is absolutely killer and still has plastic on it. We also got in the classic Omega Seamaster Black Wave Dial on rubber box papers. What an excellent everyday watch. And the very underrated and unworn Carl Bucherer Chronograph Annual Calendar. Here you have a chrono and an annual calendar, all under $4,000 for a brand new watch. How can that be beat? All that and way more at delraywatch.com, the best place for a watch geek to buy a watch. Link in the description below. Anyway, guys, you know the drill. These are the questions you ask me on my Instagram account at Federico Talks Watches. Few times a month, the Q&A picture pops up. You can ask your question there. When I get enough questions, I take the picture down. Please do not DM me. I do not check them. And we start with a regular. Fran Esposto said, "Hey Fed, if you had to pick a dress watch for under $5K, what would it be?" Well, Fran, you have a lot of choices here. You have Longines, you have Nomos, which would be very much high up on my list, but I'd go with something quirky and geeky. For under $5,000, I'd probably go with, if you can find one, if there'll definitely be under $5,000, but they're not always out there. But I'd go with an older Vincent Calabrese Power Reserve, a classic independent watchmaker from the late 90s, early 2000s. Very famous in watch geek circles. It has those horned lugs. Yes, it's run by an ETA, but this was before in-house movements were all the rage. This is a very beautiful watch, and for $5,000, you do get something quite special. Watch on the Side says, "What do you think about minute repeater watches? Is service cost super expensive?" I love minute repeaters. They are the ultimate complication. They make tourbillons look like child's play. Now, yes, there's quarter repeaters and chiming watches. Minute repeaters is a whole other ballgame. It does hours, quarter hours, and minutes. This truly is a display of a watchmaker's skill. And even though you can pick some of them up relatively inexpensively, around $30,000, service is absolutely very expensive. Much harder to service than a tourbillon, harder than a perpetual calendar. Minute repeaters really are worked on only by the upper echelon of master watchmakers. So while you can get one relatively inexpensively from its retail price, when it does need service, expect to spend $4, $5, $6, even $10,000, depending on the minute repeater. Joseph Lozano, "Fed, is there a brand you would absolutely never buy despite still respecting?" Yes, there is. And I'll tell you what it is, and I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way, because I love this brand. I adore it, but it just doesn't look good on my wrist. And that is MB&F. I love MB&F. Max Busser is a genius. They've collaborated with my favorite brand, Moser. I love their horology. And I think price point, it's pretty fair. However, they just don't fit on my wrist well, and they don't suit my own personal style. A little too contemporary for me, a little too chunky for me. A lot of them were very tall. I would buy an MB&F to look at it all day long. I love them, but I can't buy one because I can't wear it. And that is entirely a personal opinion. MB&F gets my full endorsement, though unfortunately they won't be getting my money. And F. Panucci says, hey Fed, do you think Rolex will ever introduce 41mm GMTs like they did with the Submariner? Absolutely. This is how Rolex introduces new models. It always trickles down. So, it starts with the sub, and then it's absolutely going to go to the GMT. GMTs and subs will always eventually share the same case dimensions. At least they have in the past. Makes no sense to have them in two different sizes because A, it's less uniform, but B, it also costs Rolex more money to retool their case production. They actually save quite a bit of money by tooling the Submariner and the GMT on the same production line, or if not the same production line, at least the same case manufacturing line. So I absolutely do think they'll do it, though Rolex is slow to make changes. So whenever something comes out, it usually starts in precious metal, then two-tone, then steel. If a new case size comes out, it usually starts in the sub, then it goes into the GMT. It's absolutely going to happen. I'd bet my money on it. The subs and the GMTs will be uniform once again. Anyway, guys, that's it for me today. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Really does help. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any more content. And of course, I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.